What's going on YouTube? I'm back again with another video. Today I wanted to talk about the PSVR2 for just a quick second. It's been about a week since it's been out, and I wanted to talk about some of my experiences with it and give you guys a first impressions video. This is my very first VR headset, so it took a little bit to get used to, but after a week of playing different games, I've been able to come up with a system of doing things that works for me. So let's start off with the unit itself. First off, I really like how simple it was to set up and get going. All you have to do is plug one cord into the front of your PS5 and go through a simple setup wizard. It doesn't take much more than 5 minutes to get up and running once you've unboxed it. The one negative on this part is that the controllers didn't really come with much of a charge out of the box. I was barely able to finish the setup before I was getting battery warnings. So my recommendation is, if you do get a unit, is to take a minute and charge your controllers before you get going. And as a side note, I did get the extra charging cradle you can buy, and I do like it. It works really well, and it looks pretty cool when the controllers are resting in the dock. So let's talk about fit for a second. I have a really big head. I wear a size 8 in a fitted cap, and I don't have any problems getting my head into this unit. It stretches plenty far for me, and also on the other end of the spectrum, I let my nephew, who's about 10 years old, use it, and he was able to get a pretty good fit too. So I feel like they've done a pretty good job here, making this a one size fits all. And on the comfort side, I would say it's pretty comfortable, but you do notice it. I mean, you are strapping a brick to your face, so there is just a certain level of comfort that you'll never be able to achieve here. But again, this is my first headset, so I don't have too many other experiences to compare it to. But overall, I found it to be pretty light and comfortable. Now, I do wish the cord was a little bit longer, but make no mistake, at 14 feet, they do give you a pretty generous amount of cord to work with. I just found myself having to adjust my PS5 a bit to play some of the standing only games, but that does have a lot to do with how my setup is arranged. So let's talk about the gaming in this thing. The first game I tried was Gran Turismo 7. GT7 looks absolutely amazing in VR. It's pretty mind-blowing to be teleported to another world like that. With GT7, it feels like you're really in the car. You can feel the motion of the car in a way that just doesn't translate to a TV. I'm able to judge distances much better, and I can ride right up to somebody's bumper without smashing into them. At 82% trophy completion, I played a lot of GT7 when it released, and I can confidently say that playing this game in PSVR2 has been an absolute game changer. It adds a whole other dimension to your immersion, and you really just have to try it for yourself to fully understand. Now, one of the other games I checked out was Resident Evil Village. I heard nothing but good things about RE7 on the PSVR1 and how much of a landmark experience that was. So I was looking forward to checking out RE Village, and I'm going to be straight up with you all and tell you that I didn't play it a whole lot because I pretty much chickened out. What I did play was an intense experience. Being inside some of those cutscenes in VR is pretty surreal, and it added a different layer to the way the story hit me. I just couldn't handle the creeping around in the dark, waiting for that jump scare. It was a really impressive experience, and I do plan to go back to it. I'll probably just have to play it in small chunks to keep my blood pressure down. If you like horror games and getting freaked out is your thing, then this is definitely an experience you should not miss. Another game I played was Pistol Whip. This game is a lot of fun. It's basically a blend of Super Hot and Beat Saber. It's a shooter that gives you bonus points for shooting on beat to the music. There's several different runs with different stylings and different songs. This game is a pretty active game, as it has you dodging bullets and ducking obstacles, and after a few runs, you definitely start to work up a little bit of a sweat. Now, I like to be careful with my electronics, and that's especially true when something is brand new and expensive, so I started to feel a little bit uneasy about full-blown sweating while I had my headset on. It could just be me being nervous, but my solution was to wear a bandana whenever I plan on playing more active games. Another thing I noticed is that if you do get hot and sweaty, sometimes the lenses do fog up a little bit, At that point, I usually take a break to cool off, or I'll use a microfiber cloth to wipe the lenses, but I do like to keep the wiping to a minimum. With all that being said, pistol whip is a blast and a pretty good exercise too. If you're looking for a rhythm game to hold you over until Beat Saber releases on the PSVR2, then I highly recommend checking out Pistol Whip. So these are just a few of the games that I've been playing this week on the PSVR2. I've also played and really enjoyed games like Pavlov and Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Both of these games have you using your hands in different ways, and they really make you handle your weapons and go through a lot of the real-life motions you would normally need to use in those situations. I'm especially impressed with Pavlov and the detail in that game when it comes to using different weapons and attachments. Handling weapons in Pavlov while in VR is definitely a really cool experience. You can have a great time just messing around in the shooting range and going through the shoot house. I'm still trying to get my skills up, but when things start to click, it really shows you why VR has such great potential. And I think potential is an important word here because that's definitely what's been at the forefront of my mind. The experiences I've had so far have been game-changing and downright amazing at times. They've also been a little clunky and annoying at times. I definitely see the potential for greatness here. I just think it's important to have realistic expectations. While this unit does have OLED screens, it's not like strapping an LG OLED to your face. There's a little bit more of a grainy look to it. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it is noticeable, especially when you look far off into the distance. It's actually something that's hard to show you because I've definitely noticed that when I record clips of my gameplay while I'm in VR, the footage always looks a bit nicer and more crisp than it did when I had my headset on. So just keep in mind that when you see all of these PSVR2 clips floating around out here, it's not quite representative of what you're seeing in the headset. I don't personally feel like it detracts from the experience all that much. I just want you to be aware of what you're getting into. So that leads me to the last thing I wanted to mention, and that's, do I think it was worth spending $600 on? For me personally, the answer is yes. As someone who's never owned a headset and is starting from scratch, this is definitely worth it. There are experiences here that I for sure see myself putting lots and lots of hours into. But if you're someone who already owns a VR set, or even has the PSVR1, then I think it's worth waiting to see what kind of exclusive titles we see in the near future. And that's going to be about it for me in my first week with the PSVR2. I've had a ton of fun so far, and I'm going to do my best to keep you all updated on how I feel about my purchase going forward. I hope I was able to give at least one person a little bit of an extra insight on what to expect. Let me know down in the comments below if you ended up getting one, why or why not. Tell me what games you've played and what you think so far. So that's going to be it for me. I'm Gamers Gamut. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Until next time, take it easy.
PlayStation